Hello and welcome to Seder Soul Sailing. Last couple the last yesterday I did a video. I don't know if I screwed up or something, but instead of like 100 people watching it, I got 17 or 18. I played around with the settings. I guess I won't do that again. But it's worth checking out. It was about Ursula von der Leyen and the 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 EU threatening Brussels threatening Belgium. It's like that's like the flea threatening the dog. Uh, anyway, you might want to go. Uh, you might want to go check that out. It was. I think it was pretty good. Anyway, we'll probably talk about that a little bit today because we're going to cover some of the same topic, and that's the clown car just keeps getting crazier and crazier. This week, Macron asked China for help, China to help bail out Europe's crumbling industrial sector. It's crumbling because the damn fools and the Germans dismantled their nuclear power plants, and then somebody blew up the freaking gas pipeline. So all of a sudden the electricity is costs are killing them to run their factories, and the market died. Nobody has any money. The U.S. market is deader than dead. The Chinese market, which I believe was like BMW's biggest market, has initiated hardcore, I guess, tariffs or importation quotas or something like that. But whatever, it's just they're screwed. They're getting hit from all corners. So they're going to the Chinese for help. The Chinese are, yeah, we'll get right on that. Yeah, it's because the Europeans have been so kind to the Chinese over the last 15 or 20 years that why wouldn't they want to help them out? Anyway, I'm being sarcastic here. So we have, hey, I've got people on here. Hi, hello, yes, hello and hi. Everybody that says hi, hi back at you. So we're going to do a tarot reading to see what's happening with this situation. The video I did yesterday that nobody watched apparently about Ursula von der Leyen threatening to lose her cushy digs in Brussels because she's going to kick the Belgium out of the EU or some damn thing. They're pissed. Belgium voted not to fund the war in Ukraine, and that didn't go over well in Brussels. I mean, the EU headquarters is in Belgium. Brussels in Belgium. It's like this whole thing reminds me. I had a friend. I apologize if I told this story before, but I had a friend who had I think I told this story in the video nobody watched yesterday. He had about a 2-year-old toddler, and they were driving the car, he and his wife, and the toddler was in the back seat, in the car seat, and the toddler said, "For a smart kid, really sharp. He was funny." He said up to his mom and dad, "I've been thinking about it. I don't need you anymore." Just as they were pulling into the garage, so the dad turned around and said to him, "Oh yeah, okay, get out of your own car seat then," and went in the house. In about like 10 seconds later, the kid was wailing in the back seat, and they had to go out and rescue him because he apparently didn't need his parents. And that's kind of like the EU telling, the EU headquartered in Brussels telling Belgium it doesn't need them anymore. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's see what the cards have to say about this. And as far as Macron asking China for help, there's a long history of the EU kind of basically acting to China as if they were still, the British Empire, and they were, instigating opium wars in China. I mean, they're still acting like empire, right? And uh, the world has changed a little bit. France wouldn't need to be going to to China to beg them to help save their industrial sector if they weren't completely screwed up right now. Let's. I mean, they've destroyed themselves. France still has nuclear power for who knows how long because they pissed off the Nigerians or Nigers. I don't know what you call them. It's not Nigeria. It's Niger. That's where they were getting their plutonium from, and you know, let's just say the French don't have a great history of treating the Africans very well. Ask the Algerians or the Moroccans. I mean, they don't have revolutions against the French for nothing, you know. So anyway, they're going to China for help, and to be honest. The French haven't treated the Chinese that much better than they treated the Algerians or the Moroccans. So is China gonna? China's not going to tell them to pound sand. They're going to string them along as long as they can. They have vested interest in this. They want China to get weak. They want to move in and basically scavenge. They want the EU to be weak, and they're going to circle like a pack of wolves. But it isn't like a pack of wolves circling around like a herd of cattle, because they wait and pick off the weak ones when they circle around a herd of cattle. In this case, they're kind of it's like circling around a flock of domestic turkeys that can't fly. And domestic turkeys are so dumb that when it starts raining, the turkey farmers have to go out and herd them into the sheds, in the turkey sheds, because they get so confused by the rain, they stop and they look up at the rain and they just stand there until they drown. That's kind of how that's kind of how the European leadership is acting right now, and so they're just waiting to see what they can scavenge. But you know, maybe Macron will get lucky and they'll just out of the goodness of the heart save their dumbasses this time around. Let's see what the cards have to say. Is China going to bail Europe's dumbass out, or are they going to just kind of string them along as far as they can and then scavenge any salvageable parts off of the EU when it completely becomes a joke, when it becomes basically the EU is going to consist of the people that have dinner in Ursula von der Leyen's mansion in Brussels, but it probably won't be in Brussels. They'll probably, kick themselves out of there. Well, now, interesting signifier. Maybe China's going to come to the rescue, and this is the overall situation. And this is the gateway. Interesting. Let's see what it's got to say. Because this so far I'm not. And this is the root, and this is solidity, and this is the present moment. And that's like putting your craft to work, and this is the psychological future. And this is the future. Who knows what this means? I'm starting to get an idea here. I'm starting to see a story, though. And this is the fears. And this is the astrological energies. And here's the desires. Yeah, this is what they want. They want China to come and bail them out. I'm getting an idea. And here's what the final outcome is. Let's see what modifies it here. This modifies the fears. This modifies the desires. And this modifies the final outcome. So, judging from this, I think China's actually going to come and help them out here. I think China might help them out, but it's not going to be what they expect. And who knows what they expect, because it's, you know, I've seen some bad things happen from Chinese involvement. I've seen some good things come from it. They don't do things out of the goodness of their heart. Everything's part of a very precise plan, and if their plan involves circling the drain, circling the oh shit, I forgot that. Sorry, I forgot to get something at the. I was in town today and I forgot to go get something for my boat. Anyway, that was bad. Shit. I forgot. Ooh, not good. Anyway, I shouldn't. Okay. So China's not. Anything China does will be part of a very long plan, very well thought out plan. I'm doing okay. Hi, 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 hi. Oh yeah. The and I don't. It might be a plan that actually works out pretty well for the European people. Because seriously, if China kind of moved in and kind of clandestinely took over, just sort of behind the scenes, they could hardly do a worse job than the clown show that's running it now, running the EU now. And who knows? Maybe company I used to work for, it it got bought out by a Chinese company, but they didn't buy it outright. It was there was this guy. He started the company. He was probably really good at what he did in like 1967 or so. But by the late 2010s, he's pretty well. He was pretty well. He was living in a different century, and he was not the guy to be running the company. But he was so bad. He still owned a controlling interest in the company in the, but not quite a controlling interest. He got kind of booted out. Some people got together and kind of squeezed him out so that he had a non-controlling interest. Well, then he put together this situation with this Chinese company, and or this Chinese investor, and he got controlling interest back. And all I know, that's about when I left the company, was when that old fool came back. And all I know is that towards the end of, when the Chinese investors came in and started looking at the books of the company, we saw the guy sitting in the office, the head office, with his head in his hands, looking like he wanted to kill himself. The Chinese guy, like he wasn't happy with his decision. So I guess we can't blame what happened there on the Chinese investor. But they've really taken over Southeast Asia, and for better and for worse. It's we'll see how it goes. But it looks like they're going to move in and really take a bite out of Europe. Looks like they are going to probably invest some money in this, but they're not going to. They don't just give money out of the goodness of their heart. If they invest money, they want something in return. And they're not giving money to help Macron out. Maybe they're not like financing his hit on Candace Owens or whatever the hell he's doing. But they're buying a chunk of flesh is what they're buying. And in this case, it looks like it might actually work out to the benefit of the European people. I mean, like I said, it could hardly be worse. Maybe they'll maybe they'll come and run the what's left of the supranational state like grown-ups instead of like a bunch of characters off of a comedy sitcom or a Monty Python skit. Um, the Because it's things so because there's actually some joy involved in this, some happiness coming, and there's definitely some action taking place. Something's happening, and you know, maybe maybe it won't work out so well for Ursula von der Leyen and Macron and Starmer and company, but maybe it give the European people a chance to practice what they're good at, and they're good. There's so much they can do. They've they've perfected their craft, and this is a time to put it to use. Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. So the fear is sort of a stable home life. But this is the foundation, this is the root card, and this one shows that there has been some work done in that direction. But to get there is going to take this. I hate to use the term because it gets thrown around in the pink cloud world so much, but this means there's got to be some shadow work done, and there's gonna have to be something left behind. But I think that there's a chance that the European people themselves are going to be able to use their tremendous power to get what they want, which is a stable, strong world. But it will require, there will be a lot of cultural conflict. And, that's probably going to involve the whole battle going with immigration right now, which, that's a mess. That's a mess. I mean, it was a mess. And last time I was in Europe, I've been in Scandinavia a couple of times since then, but last time I was in France was about 10 years ago. And it was a mess. We had, a big section of the Seine, walking along the Seine, sort of to the east of Notre Dame, was impassable because there was thousands and thousands of people living in a tent city. I think a lot of people from Syria at that time, but it was not a great situation. It was not being handled very well. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to require some cultural conflict. But I think the European people have what it takes to get through to that, and this is the gateway. And to get to where they need to go is going to require stable, calm, steady motion. I mean, there's the action right now. The impetus is for chaotic, violent action, but that's not how you're going to get to where you need to go. You're going to get there by being calm and stable, and enjoying, sorry about that. But you're going to get there. And where you're going to get is actually a pretty wonderful place. I used to love Europe. I still do. I love the United States. I love Europe. But right now, Europe is not a good place to be. It's not going to be a very safe place to be. But maybe the Chinese will kind of clean it up and straighten it up and come in and lend Macron a hand, what the hell? But yeah, today, so, and when they get there, if they follow a calm, steady, thoughtful path that's not chaotic, but well thought out, they can get to this new, almost like a spiritual center. It's going to take some work. It's not going to be easy. I'm modifying the final outcome, but they're almost there. They can do it. They can really get there. There's some other. I mean, it's just so much crazy stuff. It's hard to even know where to start. But like today, Ursula von der Leyen actually threatened sanctions and isolation to Belgium for not supporting the, whatever, $500 billion they want to invest in the Ukraine war. And Belgium voted against that. They said, good luck with that. We got other things to worry about, and when the ass clowns in the clown car running the EU are starting to threaten themselves. I mean, this reminds me of there's a movie Blazing Saddles from when I was a little kid, and there's Cleavon Little. He's the sheriff. He's like an African American sheriff, and he takes himself hostage and threatens to kill himself if they don't let him escape because the crowd's closing in on him, and the mayor goes, he means it. He'll shoot him. He shoot himself. And that's it. It's like they're putting a gun to their head, except it's not working. The people are going like, are you people nuts? I mean, we know you're nuts. We know you're stupid. We know you're idiots. You're not even legitimate elected officials like Macron. He doesn't even have a functioning government. He's dissolved, 3 or 4 governments this year or some goddamn thing. And, in 16 AFD, what they call the extreme right German political party, which is about as far right as the Democrats used to be under Clinton in the 90s. They're about as far to the right as Hillary Clinton is. I mean, it's they're a conservative party, but they've got a lot of support, and last, I don't know, something like 11 to 16 of their candidates died mysteriously. It's like so Mertz's government is not stable either, and Starmer, he might as well go join the Hellfire Dining Club that got David Cameron ousted. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But maybe the situation's so bad that the Chinese coming in and sort of acting like grown-ups would be exactly what they need at this point in time. So, I don't know. It's not really the reading I expected, but, I mean, I personally wouldn't like China come in and take over my country. But shit, I live on a sailboat in the middle of nowhere in like different, I don't even live in a country, I don't even have a phone number at the moment, I got Starlink. But what are you going to do? So I maybe I'm not the guy to ask. Like I said, I probably would prefer not to live in a country that China came and clandestinely took over. But I guess if you got shit clowns like Mertz and Macron and Starmer and company running your country, I guess the Chinese, it's a low bar, but the Chinese are probably a step up from it. So even if it's what it takes for the European people, things to work out for the European people and to get off of that out of that clown car. Well, maybe um, more power to them, I guess. So I think this is a pretty good reading for the European people. Probably China too, but I'm sure, I'm sure China had this figured out a long time ago. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna turn this around and show you the reading. Oh, don't it doesn't like it when I orientation. Try rotating device. Okay, whatever. It doesn't like that. So here we go. There's my studio. My jar of water. Jar of water with sea salt in it. I probably told you this already, but oh, there. There we go. That was that groan was me because my elbow was sore. I heard it the other day. Um, anyway, thank you for watching. Uh, I hope this was useful, and ask any questions. Um, Contact me. I think we have an email address somewhere on there. Yeah, you take care of yourselves, and I will probably see you tomorrow.